Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of Privacy Talks. This is our fifth one now, right? Yeah. As always, I'm joined by Mateo and Marco. Hey guys.
Hey, Mini.
Hi guys.
As always, we have a couple of exciting stories for today. So theoretically, we're covering 6 stories, but as usual, we won't have time to cover everything. But it's a lot of stories about privacy, about regulations, a couple of exciting Apple news. So I would start off with our first topic, with the Web3 is dead story. So I'm
Mini,
sure everybody. Yeah, sorry.
Web3 is dead, long live crypto,
Long live crypto. Exactly. I know you hate the whole Web3 category, so you've always been a crypto user, not a Web3 user. So. No,
Yeah.
but I'm sure everybody on crypto Twitter saw Kyle Samani who declared that Web3 is dead. All we have left is DeFi and DePIN, which on its own says a lot that crypto is not that. But of course, you can look at it from his perspective that crypto has always been about decentralization, and now TradFi is stepping in. So I think that's his whole angle, right?
Well, I mean, and taking Kyle Samani too seriously, I don't know who did well. Maybe, at the beginning, when he was a Solana max and Solana went from, I don't know, $8 back to 50. It makes sense, but a broken clock is right twice a day as well, right?
Exactly.
I would say here, I mean, if you look at Multicoin, right, it's I think they switched to Hyperliquid now, right? And it's already doing so much better than everything that they did under Kyle. I need to check exactly what they did, but there was I think some news that Multicoin, Hyperliquid, that they took a big stake in so they bought like 3 million hype worth 120 million, and they immediately went up compared to all the Solana horns that they had under Kyle. But I would say it's also actually very strange from coming this from Kyle, because I think Kyle is still building in this kind of deep in space. I don't know how he defines Web3, right? Because they're doing the decentralized kind of, I don't know, the Starlink alternative, I think. Yeah. He's I forgot the name. Wait, I mean he's decentralized.
But that's then DePIN either way, right?
Yeah, it's DePIN. So I'm not sure how he's defining Web3, right? Because for me, DePIN, DeFi, all that, is still, the Web3 definition, right? It's the point of Web3 is decentralized, the whole decentralized stack, right? The whole stack is decentralized. So DePIN falls into that. I never liked the term because it came out of kind of the dirtiness of crypto, so they looked for the cleaner alternative. And then Web 1, Web 2, Web 3, it was kind of a nice spin, but I would say the point why I prefer crypto is that all these decentralized networks, in order to work, they need to rely on some sort of token, right? I mean, at least to me, it makes sense that you need to be paying for the service, because for the classical service, the centralized service, usually you pay with your data because the service then is free, right? And in crypto, the point is that the service is not taking your data or any other form of, or any other benefit from you. So you need to pay for it. So that's why it's always connected, that there needs to be a token that you're paying with. It can be USDC if it's a more traditional service. Depends on how you spin it, in terms of governance and all that. But that's why I preferred crypto versus Web3, because you needed to own, a cryptocurrency to be able to participate usually, right? Look at Venice, how they're doing with DM, and their $1 worth of compute and all that. And it makes sense, especially with agents. Crypto is a very nice fit into those payments. So I would say it's not dead, but as we approach, the adoption levels, I think, the OGs of crypto were always kind of anti-establishment, right? So if you get, institutions coming in and utilizing the rails and everything, of course, they take their own spin on it, where they want to use kind of blockchains, but in a more centralized way. I think it's still, a good proof of, how beneficial the technology is even in more enterprise environments. And for me, yeah, I mean, OGs are people that were early, right? And if they were early to crypto, they're potentially now early to a new trend as well, right? So they will always be, going to the next. The real OGs, the cypherpunk guys, are still in crypto, still the Bitcoin maxis, you still have them. Just the people that maybe jumped on the crypto bandwagon, right? And they were early, they might now smell new opportunity in AI, and they're jumping on that bandwagon now. They might declare AI is dead at some point as well, right? Once we, get quantum computing taking off, right? Like, oh no, quantum computing will, of course it's compatible. It's not that quantum computing is going to replace AI, but it's just going to be potentially a new trend that they're going to jump on, right? So I can't resent anybody, for doing that. But I think leaving an industry and then declaring it dead because you're leaving doesn't make sense. At least that's my point.
Yeah, but if you
sorry, Marco.
If you try to kind of be fair to him, what other crypto use cases are there except for DeFi and DePIN? I mean, even decentralized AI, I'm still a massive fan. I think it has its role to play. It depends a lot on DeFi because it utilizes the payment rails, etc. So it utilizes, of course, blockchain, for example, for agent identity, agent verification. But in the end, the agents need this, although I keep calling kind of Ethereum this credibly neutral ecosystem, and agents need this to establish trust between each other or between services and them. And then they mainly needed to kind of interact with them via payment rails because the traditional world doesn't give them access to these rails. So what is there except for DeFi and DePIN? I mean, I get his tweet, to be honest.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? If you look at the, at least for me, right, early beginnings of the internet, right, it was, yeah, okay. You could say, what else is there besides email, right? I can't send a photo, I can't send a video, I can't stream because it had its own limitations, right? But as we progressed with adoption and everything, people were realizing, shops online are a lot better than brick and mortar shops, right? They're cheaper. You can sell more. You can sell to a lot bigger market, right? So I would say here financial use cases are more straightforward. That's why they make more sense. But I still believe that as we progress, and there's going to be more censorship, more regulation, more people getting blocked by their governments, with even the teenagers, getting banned from all the social networks because they're below 16. I'm guessing there's going to be something that's going to pop up that's going to be a decentralized social network that they're going to be able to use as an app on their phone. No KYC, boof, and they're going to jump on it. I think the rails are not that obvious yet, but I think with how the regulation is progressing in all the Western countries, I think it's gonna the crypto ecosystem is gonna flourish basically with that. So it's kind of not sure if you can call it a Trojan horse type of thing, where I mean, look, let's be honest. Even they tried to kill. Remember, we downloaded music, we downloaded movies, through torrents, or some did. We didn't. Some did. That because that's illegal or was illegal. well, I don't know if it's still legal even, but yeah, they couldn't stop it. They couldn't stop it, right? So I would say having these alternatives, going forward, I think it's going to be even more important if you ask me. Yeah, and I found the project. Yeah, Kyle Samani is, I think, involved with GeoNet. So
I don't know what that is.
Yeah. So this GPS real kinematics network where you can get accuracy up to, I think he said 2 centimeters, and you can spin up your own node. So it's a kind of decentralized alternative to traditional GPS. So yeah, it's definitely DePIN. But why disjoint, crypto, DePIN from crypto? I don't get it, because it has a token, you pay in the tokens, so it's crypto. But yeah, I don't know what.
I think the whole discussion was around the identity crisis that crypto is going through right now. But you have a lot of verticals, like even we're always about privacy. You need privacy for both DeFi and DePIN. Like you need confidential executions. You need not everything can run fully transparent. So I think
but privacy is not a vertical, right? Privacy is a feature that pretty much every vertical needs.
Sure. Yeah. It's an add-on. Yeah.
It's an add-on.
But I think it's crucial, when you're saying about real privacy, that you have it on a decentralized layer, right? Because of course you have, TEs, Google TEs, but how can you verify, that there's not a backdoor in that TE, right? That if somebody says Google gets a peanut, oh yeah, we're going to show you what's in these TEs, right? Because you don't know what firmware they're running, right? So I think even for this being just an add-on feature, you need to have decentralized alternatives, right? If you want to be sure here. And yeah, there might be a little bit of, I don't say it's like an identity crisis, but I think with investors being more selective, not everything is getting funded. The crazy idea of doing something is not getting money now, because they rather take a shot in with a crazy AI idea, right? So I think it's just coming. You're now going through the weeds and finding the real use cases, the beautiful flower that can flourish. And I think it's good. Actually, it's good for the ecosystem that all the bloat kind of dies off. And it kind of did every 4-year cycle, right? But because there was still so much money slushing around in crypto, every cycle, the stupid shit came back, and now, because a lot of the money or a lot of funding moved to AI, your people, investors are getting very selective with what they're buying into on the crypto side, right? But I think, wasn't it A16Z that just recently raised another huge fund for crypto use cases, if I'm not mistaken? I think I saw it last month. Not sure, not 100% sure, but I think I saw it. I had it in my memory. So there's still going to be investments in this space. It's just going to be more selective, and Friendtech probably won't get, I don't know how many million, or what was it, clout and that weird shit. But that's my take here. It's not that, it's just that the focus shifted a little bit, and yeah, you need to build real stuff with real use cases in order to get adoption, get noticed. Like if you look at Hyperliquid, I use it as an example a lot of times, right? I think last time I didn't remember, it was the Cerebras IPO, right? Where you had the traders trading the Cerebras IPO. I think it was on the New York Stock Exchange. They had the Hyperliquid pre-IPO market open on the screen, right? And that means that if you apply the technology well, it's going to be used. It's going to get noticed. You have a lot of Wall Street now. They traded oil during the weekends all the time. So needs to be good use case, that makes sense, and then it will get adopted. Yeah, not just
exactly. I think that should have been the story from the start. But as with everything, you need a lot of trial and error before you get there. So I think we're maturing as
people dislike the uncertainty. So crypto was always looking for this use case, like, hey, what is crypto actually good for? Or what's a blockchain good for? So then we found stable coins, but people want more exciting things, and now they don't care about stablecoin adoption. But the thing is, as we just said, kind of the tech is there. The infra has been built over a decade and more. So the rails are there, and it just kind of, it's going to be there whenever a use case pops up. No one thought about agents a couple of years ago. And suddenly blockchain is perfect for agents because agents need to establish trust somehow so they can have an identity on chain, they can pay, they can do micropayments, whatever. And I think this is just going to be more and more in the future. Like blockchains aren't going to go away. Ethereum has established itself as this credibly neutral place where you can do business, you can do contracts, whatever you want. So whenever a use case needs this, they will default, I would say, to crypto.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And as you said, it's gonna creep into different use cases because it's just gonna be a natural fit, as you said, for agents, micropayments, all that. And as we go more towards, this ties into the subsidized AI market that you often talk about, right? Where right now we have the subscriptions, where it makes sense for you to use either Claude or ChatGPT or something, where you get a lot more tokens for that, right? But if they start charging on real token usage or per token basis, right, I think a lot of people will have to switch to like some maybe open source models that are going to be provided on chain, and then you're going to be using micropayments to pay per token and stuff like that, right? You could really beautifully tie in and also with the kind of regulation that's coming down, the Fable and everything. Maybe we can touch on this as well. How they're able to now block us from the best model that's available right now. I don't know, Marco, can you explain more? Was it a technicality from the Amazon researchers, or was it the real threat that they found with Fable?
No, the thing is, Anthropic kind of shot themselves in the foot because they were hyping it as this new model. I mean, Mythos back then, that can really be a problem from a cybersecurity perspective. And then they released the kind of a nerfed version Fable that had guardrails. And the problem was the US government thought that there were now suddenly jailbreaks to bypass those guardrails. Anthropic didn't really agree with this. And also, it's going to be impossible to release a model that is proof against like jailbreaks. It's always going to happen, but they didn't see any general jailbreak that is just easy to abuse for all kinds of actors. The problem in reality was that Anthropic doesn't know how to talk to the Trump administration. Someone explained this super well, like they need a sales chat. Like you don't send your nerds to the White House, you send the golfers that come there, they want to drink a beer, etc., because they can talk to the Trump administration. And I really believe this is the case, that they really just messed up in explaining like what is Fable, what are jailbreaks, how does it actually work. And I think it's going to be cleared up. But the problem is, it's again like a Pandora's box that has been opened, and it's not a Pandora's box. Like suddenly we have this super crazy model and we can hack everything, but it's like, fuck, the US government actually controls this, and now we don't use Fable. And I actually used it super extensively for the few days that it was out, and it really was a difference. Like for the first time, it felt like something that's thinking along. Like it didn't end every single output with like, yeah, but there's two more caveats, and we should look at this. It was just like finished. Whenever I gave it something, it was done. And it's a real bummer for all Europeans specifically.
For me, I use this as well a little bit for a day, I think. And for me, it was a lot less correcting, right? Because I'm working on something that's quite novel, right, and complicated. And that day, it was like, oh shit, it's getting it, right? Immediately. And it's not forgetting about this and that, right? Because with Opus, I still need to be like, but yeah, this was resolved by this. Ah, okay, yeah. Oh, sorry, I forgot. Let me update, There's a lot more. And yeah, you're right. Fable was amazing. You tried it, Nina?
No, I haven't. I'm killing myself because I haven't been able to try it, and then they switched it off. So I said I would try it over the weekend, but then this happened. So But I saw that they're in talks now, and they might reinstate it. But the government wants some bigger guardrails, and Anthropic said that they're not possible. So that's what you were talking about, Marco, right?
Yeah, exactly. They just need a way to kind of properly talk to the Trump administration.
You know,
I
that's
think
why.
it is gonna go back, but again, like now the US government also realized like how powerful they are again in this international setting. And it could be that it's gonna be more expensive for non-US users. They could do something to fuck us either way.
I mean,
They're not Elon. That's the problem.
no, but you're right. It's that's why teams have BD and sales, right? You can't
Yeah.
send devs to this because it's a whole different conversation. And you and me, Marco, we were on that front all the time, and you're kind of the man in the middle that handles that stuff. Because if you let the devs talk, it can be problematic. Yeah, because it either can be too technical and then can be too scary, and people kind of overreact, right? And I think here it was an overreaction, intentional or not, it was an overreaction. Yeah. But
I think it's intentional. I'm not trying to be conspiracy theorist now, but I think it kind of ties into Elon trying to grow his own XAI platform, and because he's now petitioning to scrap the privacy order early from 2022 that
but
FTC
I think he doesn't have anything against Anthropic because he just gave them a bunch of compute in his Colossal. He bought Cursor, so I think he's more just working on somebody winning against OpenAI. I think it's that. I think
of course. He
right?
hates them. Yeah, this was his baby. I mean, he co-founded OpenAI as this non-for-profit. He invested money, and he was really one of those pushing for AGI regulation to slowly get there. And then Sam Altman took over and just released the first GPT, and suddenly the race started. And he got kind of kicked out, and Sam Altman took proper control. So yeah, he just hates them, I think.
Yeah, so I think he's gonna basically support anybody that can beat OpenAI, and it's not about his XAI winning, but I think why he wants access to X is he can make really Grok then be so in tune with what's happening because you get everything on X, right? So if you can learn through that, maybe some deep reasoning stuff, Claude would always be better, right? But maybe Grok can be better with kind of just gauging what's happening.
But what's the privacy order, Miha? I forgot. Oh, I didn't even see it.
So back in 2022, FTC fined Twitter. It was still Twitter back then. I think 150 or 200 million because they were using people's phone numbers and emails, which those people opted in for 2FA, but they were using them for targeted advertising without them knowing. So now they're trying to end the order early. I think it's another 16 years or something. I might be mistaken. I have to read the full article. But they're using people's data to train XAI, as you said, to train Grok, as you said, Marco. So they need the order to be lifted so they can have full access to people's data.
But wasn't Grok trained on X data already?
It is, but I think there are deeper security issues that the FTC is preventing Elon to use. So.
Oh, okay. I thought this.
I mean, you have opt out for the platform using your data. You have it available in settings in Twitter, but it's on by default for everybody. So people don't turn it off. But the EU regulators already forced Twitter to stop trading Grok on users' posts, and And US users have no equivalent protection. That's why Elon is so adamant on doing propaganda against Europe, and I think half of his posts are about Europe.
But okay,
How how the empire have scrambled.
I live in Europe, and I can confirm at least, look, we don't have
some of them, but he's so extremist at this point.
No, but listen. I mean, he has so many issues in Europe. For instance, full self-driving, right? That's in the US has been available for I don't know how long. Now, I think the Dutch were testing it on their own.
It already works in Amsterdam. I saw videos online.
After how much time?
Yeah,
they were
a lot of time.
They were testing for 2 years. So the Dutch were testing for 2 years before approving it, and now other countries, I think it's Lithuania, Greece, Denmark, and one more. So Netherlands, Greece, Lithuania, and Denmark are now passporting, basically using the Dutch testing as enough evidence that it can be used in their countries as well, right? But for instance, where I'm based, the traffic agency, or how is it called, said, no, that's not enough for us, so we're not going to enable it yet, right? So it is a pain, going through all the regulatory red tape in Europe, and he's going through that on every product of his, right? I can imagine there was something on Starlink probably as well, before they enabled it in Europe.
Yeah.
And I would say, look, I mean, Europe is stifled with just too much regulation, because if you look at, why are there no frontier models in Europe? I wouldn't say, that we don't have any geniuses that could work on a frontier model. Like Mistral is not competing, I think, anymore. Maybe Marco, you have more insight here. How well is it doing compared to OpenAI's or Anthropic's models, or Gemini or Grok, right? But you have 4 best are all in the States, right? And I think it is a bit of a shame looking at Europe and what we're able to do, or how we're shooting ourselves in the foot. Like, automotive industry was one of the biggest in Europe, and then clean air initiatives, basically destroyed it. The German automakers closing down factories, and German automakers would usually were, in the past, the epitome of, car manufacturing. You had all the best coming from Europe, and now look at Ferrari Luce, right? This is what
don't get me started on that.
We're not going to start on cars, because we're going to move into a car show then. But yeah, I would say he's right to an extent. Like, of course, he's overreacting, or not overreacting, exaggerating a little bit, to prove his point. But I wouldn't say he's completely wrong, right?
But I mean, we're talking about user privacy, and that's something at least where we can be proud that Europe has been doing so well. Like, yes, it gets too much, but we're talking about him just using user data that he shouldn't have access to, because it's supposed to be used, for example, explicitly for 2FA, and they just use it for better ad targeting, etc. So it's objectively horrible to do, and that's why we hate Google, Facebook, etc. So it's a double-edged sword, this red tape.
No, I agree. I mean, I would say training on X data, that people post, it makes sense. It's their platform, right? But yeah, I agree with you. Like, imagine them going to DMs and train people on your DMs, right? Yeah.
And just look at the hypocrisy, because they're framing the order as an obstacle to American leadership in artificial intelligence. Like, this sounds so 1984. And
look, I mean, I would say AI leadership will be important. Like, when people are comparing, AI now to the Oppenheimer, right, kind of project to an extent. And I mean, looking at the capabilities that you can get with AI, you're not. I mean, you can sow destruction with AI, because the whole world is so dependent on IT, on electronic infra, right? So I would say, yeah, okay, you can still destroy the data centers with rockets, but still, if you're able, to hack a power plant and turn off the electricity for, I don't know, a country, shit, that's worse than a bomb in a city almost. It can get crazy and scary if we go into a conspiracy corner right now.
Yeah, definitely. The Fable withdrawal now finally opened some eyes. I don't know if you saw, there was this kind of fictional story about Europe 2031. Kind of like there was AI 2027, where they kind of showed you the roadmap of what happens with AI development until 2027. And in that one, it was like, either way, we're doomed. Like, even if we stop the race, we're going to be fucked. If we continue, it's going to end badly for humanity because it's just going too quickly. And this one was about Europe's future. So how does Europe develop over the years until 2031? And it follows kind of the fictional story of one German guy in the Silicon Valley and one European guy in the Silicon Valley and one woman working in Brussels. And she's close to regulation. She constantly kind of talks to this guy and he's like, you guys are falling off. What's happening? You have to step up. You need to build big AI labs. And she's like, yeah, we're not going to do it. We're so slow, etc. And it's just constantly this red tape killing Europe. And hopefully, I mean, there needs to be a wake up, because I agree with you. This is going to be the most important goods for the future. And I don't know if you can bank on open source, but also I don't know if you can just now start a proper AI lab. It's just the mindset isn't there. Like, you would need to spend billions and billions. So I don't know.
Yeah, and who's gonna? If you look at Europe, we're still dealing with a lot of inflation coming from the Ukraine war, and on the Strait of Hormuz closing, we were affected, with the oil prices here in Europe. So I would say, they're always just focusing on, just because there's a lot of spend, in Europe. It's all about, social welfare countries, right? So they're focusing more on that and that, because like, if you want to fund like a proper AI, project, I mean, the funding needed is, crazy high. And then you don't have the coherence across Europe that, okay, every country is going to pitch in for a frontier model in Europe, right? They're not. So which country will decide to spend billions on a model in Europe?
And you're already so far behind. You would even need to build the infra first. Like, you don't even have the data centers for it. And then just imagine building new data centers in Europe. Oh my God, they would kill you like the nuclear plants in Germany.
No, the problem is, all the data centers are getting rented out by the US companies because they need to be based in Europe, because of the regulation.
Also,
so you don't have any extra compute available, right? Because the regulation is saying, you need to come here and use our infra. And as you said, all the energy advocates, like, if you remember, I think it was von der Leyen, the European Commission president, she said, the solution to the oil problem, to the Strait of Hormuz closing, the cheapest gas or oil is the one not spent. So let's consume less. How can that always be the answer? Just consume less. Eat less. All that. Come on, like, we need to look how we can. Elon's talking about worldwide abundance, and we're talking about going back to the Stone Age, where maybe we don't need electricity and all. Maybe we can just run on happy feelings. I don't get it. So
on happy feelings. But how would that worldwide abundance work?
Well, the problem is that how it's looking now, it's going to be distributed from the States. That's the problem. Yeah, I mean, honestly, Marco,
all of these futuristic or utopian stories about AGI abundance, they never made sense to me for any smaller economies, because the AI, yes, they generate tons of revenue to the government. You can redistribute, you can take equity in those companies, But those companies, they will not be in Slovenia or Romania or even Germany, unfortunately. So how are they going to generate this revenue? Sure, the Europeans, they might be consumers, but that's not revenue that's going to be created here. So the utopia doesn't make sense for me. I am thinking about like AGI abundance into like, hey, how does this post-commodity world look like, where everything is a commodity? Like everything that is currently being built can be built way cheaper, and there's kind of this Moore's law for production where everything is going to be half the price every 2 years. And that future obviously is super exciting because you don't need to spend lots of money, but where there's it can't trickle down if nothing comes in the top. And that's what I still don't understand for European countries. So I don't buy the AGI abundance story for us. Like, it's going to be nice potentially in the beginning because we still have tons of wealth and we can use it to buy now things cheaper and cheaper. But at some point, there's nothing left to spend.
Look, we're like I would say sector 3 or 4 in Hunger Games, right? Was it how many, 8 or 9? You know,
I don't remember. But
yeah, somewhere there in the middle. You know, that's actually what Marco said is the point, right? We still have money, you know, and of course there is money being spent, you know, from people in Europe, you know, for experiences and all of that, right? So we're moving more into like the service economy, you know, instead of production one. So yeah, people will come here, enjoy, spend money, but top level, as you said, Marco, you know, income, where does it come from? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. And how we're looking at it now, I don't know. Maybe move to a happier topic.
Yeah, let's
doomsday rabbit hole.
I'm getting depressed at this point. Let's move to WWDC. This was exciting. Like, everybody was waiting for the new Siri AI features and Apple Intelligence stuff, which they've been promising for 2 years now and not delivering. But honestly, I'm excited if they are able to implement everything they've announced and everything works accordingly, and they don't limit the usage too much. It's exciting. I have a paragraph prepared because there are a lot of updates. So if you guys want, I can go over it.
Yeah,
I don't know if you saw the keynote.
No, I'm not in the Apple ecosystem, so I don't follow. So it would be great to hear what already.
So now we've already been talking about Gemini being integrated at an OS level, and it will be integrated in everything. So in Mac OS, iOS, iPad OS, Vision OS for Vision Pro, everything will have Gemini, the powered by Gemini Siri integration. So it can analyze what's on your screen. It can pull from your personal data and photos to answer questions. So probably how Gemini already works at on the Google Workspace level. Like, you can see your photos, emails, and everything, and create context out of that. It'll have conversational back and forth, like with ChatGPT, revisit previous conversations, so you have access to previous conversations as well. New camera mode, so you can point it at the bill, for example, select what you ordered, Siri calculates what you owe. They said that it will have daily. Shut up, Siri. It activated activated it by mistake.
You're saying Siri too many times, you know. And
yeah. But then it will have some interesting features. So, for example, there's a feature called Spatial Reframing. Say, for example, you took a photo and you don't like the angle. It can reframe it. So you took a photo of your kids and you don't like the framing, you want to move backwards or to the left, or
actually you took a photo of your kids and you don't like the kids, and you can switch them out, you know.
Exactly. No, but you can like shift perspective and it generates in real time. It recreates the photo. I saw it being demoed. I don't know how well it would work in a real world scenario, but it looks amazing.
The Google, you don't know this, but Google Photos had this feature where it kind of selected some of your highlights and make them more live, and it actually did this. So it kind of takes a shot and it rotates it out, and it actually adds all the features of the person. So yeah, they're
okay.
just, I guess, extended here.
So
Yeah,
they're pre-existing features being adapted. Okay, I'm not using Google Photos, so
I forgot how the feature. I forgot how the feature is called, but it was Google Photos auto generates kind of some highlights, and yeah, this was one of them. It looks cool. I saw it. Yeah.
Safari, they might get me to use Safari if they implement these features, because it has it auto organizes your tabs into topics now. So based on what you have open, you have a million tabs open, it organizes them into fashion, shopping. Yeah, that I found the feature really useful. Notify me what is a web page for changes. So for like restocks, price drops, like you can close the page and it notifies you if the price drops on an item, or if it comes back in stock, which is again useful. Describe on extension is what Marco was talking about. So you describe an extension and Safari generates, like, builds an extension for you from just a prompt. I don't know how well those will work, but it has some.
How are you liking the integration personally? Not from the feature perspective, but you were saying Apple was protective of user privacy. Google's coming in now. What does that mean? Is it going to be very guardrailed when it comes to how the model handles your data? Or
nothing is running on Google servers. At least that's what they said. It's so the heaviest features run on private cloud compute or entirely on device. They've been adamant to specify that they're not letting Google touch your data, and so I don't know how well the integration is done, but there are a lot of concerns because now it's integrating into Google, Apple Home as well. So your cameras, it can read what the cameras are recording and notify you if somebody, I don't know, left a package on your door or is walking in your yard. So not based on motion detectors, but actually seeing the footage and interpreting it. So this is really a big brother kind of stuff, because if the AI will have access to analyze and describe clips from your security cameras, that is kind of domestic surveillance. So
no, I mean, it depends on, so for instance, not sure if you ever used Ubiquity's Unify solutions from Wi-Fi switches, gateways, and obviously they have their cameras, sensors, all that, right?
I had an older Ubiquity range extender, but no, I'm not using them actively. So
they have a lot of cameras with AI functionality, right? But I don't believe it's going out to any servers. So it's just pre-trained on what needs to know. I mean, here AI is more on, is it a dog, or is it a pet, or is it a person, or is it a car, right? So it's not so wide, right? But I mean, do you need a lot of reasoning behind a camera? Usually it's pretty straightforward, right? So I prefer this solution that maybe is disjointed a little bit from having everything all in one, can be a little bit scary when it comes to your privacy, right? So I prefer to have systems that are isolated from each other, and maybe like Ubiquity, where it can all be local, right? You don't have to.
I agree. Sorry, Marco, I interrupted.
No. So I wanted to interrupt. So sorry. Because the Google X Apple thing, there is a precedent. It's the same as OpenAI X Microsoft. So European companies, they want compliant AI, and they use ChatGPT on Microsoft servers. And also, this is just really a copy of ChatGPT, but hosted on Microsoft Azure cloud in Europe. And it doesn't go to ChatGPT or OpenAI. So it's very much doable that they actually host Google Gemini on Apple compute servers, and it doesn't ever go back to Google for like further training, etc. And the good thing is Apple is a pioneer in the TE space, not the TE space that we like, which is verifiable, but I mean, they have confidential compute capabilities, so I do trust them to build this in a private manner. The one thing that I realized when you started talking is that this again ends in depressing state, or for us, right? Because isn't there a problem with Apple Intelligence in Siri because Europe doesn't allow it? That
Yeah.
they don't. I think they don't allow that just Apple provides this. Like if they do this, then everyone should be able to connect to Apple Intelligence or something, or at least the data on your phone. I don't know. I don't know the specifics.
So it'll probably be different because I think their solution will be similar to what Android is doing, right? Because you can choose what assistant you want, like depending on what chat apps you have.
Are going to enable more? That was the thing with the browsers when you installed, for instance, Windows, right? It was mandatory. I think the European Union or Commission, somebody said to Microsoft, you need to offer the user more than just Internet Explorer or Edge later, right? So they can have a choice. So it's not, basically, it's not coming with the OS, right? And I think it's a similar thing, I would guess here, right? With the AI assistant, right?
Yeah, but the difference is the AI assistant has access to everything on your phone. Right. So if you have third-party access to everything on your phone, man, it's so sketchy. Like I understand why Apple is against it, because then suddenly iPhones are not so secure anymore because you download something from the App Store and it reads everything and sends it wherever it wants because it's not Apple Intelligence.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now in Europe, you can install third-party marketplaces, right, on iPhones.
Really?
Yeah.
But like Siri replacements?
No, it's App Store replacements.
Yeah, App Store replacements. Like you can install third-party marketplaces in Europe. My account is US based, my iCloud account, so because I want to have all the features.
No, I just remembered that there's again
don't
this
ban my account,
that
Apple.
now Apple is frustrated. But is Apple Intelligence now available here?
In Europe, no.
Still not. Okay.
No.
Oh, so even with this Gemini integration, you're not getting anything from Siri.
I think you are. I think you may have, because now you can tie in other LLMs into Siri. So if you prefer Claude, I think you can have Claude. That's what they're saying. So
Gemini will come kind of out of the box, so you're not paying additional for Gemini. But if you want Claude, you need more. And then you can. Okay.
So I think it'll be the same as Android does with Google Assistant, right? Because you can choose if you want to use Gemini or even Perplexity or something else. Are people using Perplexity anymore, by the way?
For research, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
For research? Is it better?
Yeah, it's really good.
Okay. I like Gemini for research, but I'll try. I think I still have a pro plan with Perplexity.
But then still, what's the story of Apple Intelligence in Europe? I don't get it, because I kind of saw it on my Mac for so long and you can't use it. You can't do anything with Apple Intelligence.
Do you have an European iCloud account?
Yeah.
Or US? Okay. So you can't use Apple Intelligence.
No.
Oh, okay.
But I always saw it in like the software updates, etc. Something Apple Intelligence, but it's like nothing I can use. So what did they say at WWDC?
They didn't mention anything about Europe because it's focused on the US customers as always, the presentation. But I assume since you'll be able to tie in other LLMs as well with Siri, it'll probably be available for European users. I don't know how they will play this out, but as always, the early features will come in September when they release OS 27, but they won't release all the features at once, which again is stupid. Like whenever, say for example, Samsung introduced AI in their phones, everything was available from day one. I think they're again shooting themselves in the foot, promising too much, and it'll take a lot of time before they deliver everything. And let's see if it's available in Europe. Like they're losing a lot of people over this. I have friends who were furious that AI wasn't available in Europe, so they switched to Android. So I'm guessing there are other people as well.
I don't know if I could ever switch back.
Pixel.
Me neither.
Pixels. The experience on a Pixel is pretty nice.
Yeah, I think they're the best experience on Android.
Since we're on tech stuff, did you guys see the new Snap Specs?
The new what?
Snap Specs from Snapchat, the AR glasses.
No.
Snap Specs. I think I saw a picture. Let me see. No.
It was funny because I think oh shit, I forgot his name. Who's the CEO? The guy, Evan. Yeah, Evan. He unveiled it on CNBC, and people saw the specs. I think the stock dumped immediately for like 10%. they're like 2,200, and they look horrible. Yeah. These huge specs.
Oh my god, these are huge.
Yeah, huge. You can't even wear that daily. Come on.
Jesus Christ.
look at the sides. You know, look at how
they're this big. Like
I don't know who approved this. Like, what the hell? Became such a meme. Next, you know. It's like Rock, make them bigger, you know, make them bigger.
Exactly.
I mean, I think glasses will be a very good kind of input-output device, you know, going forward. Like, I think the form factor of glasses is like a good one to kind of progress from potentially a phone, right? I've been using the Ray-Ban Metas for quite a bit, and that's only basically output. There's no input that I could do from my side.
I mean, there's voice input, right?
Yeah, okay, there is voice input, true. Although I'm not using the AI features, so I don't have
because they're not available in Europe.
I mean, I could register. I don't have a Facebook or Meta account, so I could register now.
I don't think it's working anymore. People are saying that method is not working anymore. No,
I tried it last year. I tried it, and I didn't feel that it's so much better. I mean, it's so good that I would use it and have it record everything. So I just removed it. So I'm using it for audio and video, but. The form factor is just great to me because with the earbuds, you know, it's more or less just audio. Plus, you're kind of isolated from everything that's happening around you, right? With the glasses, you're still you're present, but at the same time, you're able to get information in. You're able to then also visualize. I'm more curious about trying the Metas, the new Metas, right?
The display ones.
Yeah, are they called Meta 2 or what they call? I forgot.
No, I think it's just called Meta Display.
Meta Display, yeah. So when they come, I'll be more excited to try that. But I think they're right about the form factor, right? So glasses, I think, are a good kind of form factor to progress from the phones, but this is horrendous. Like it's the same way, you know. Remember what was it, Google Glass or their first glasses where you looked like the Star Trek or a Star Wars agent or actor. Remember the Google Glass?
Yeah.
Those were horrible.
Yeah, I mean, you look like a cyborg, right? But and looks are still important, but if you look at you know, the Ray-Bans or the Oakleys that are coming out with Meta collaborations, those actually look good. People oftentimes don't realize that I have those on, right? After a while, they're looking at you, they're like, oh shit, is that a camera? Or these smart glasses. So that's why I think if you can really nail the, that they look natural, right? I think they're gonna go. Or remember the Vision Pro, right? Nobody wants to wear those ski goggles, right?
Of course. I have them, but
you have them, and
I used them like 10 times.
You don't use them. They're too heavy. It's not natural. You can only use it at home for kind of working, but still, I don't know. It feels weird.
Tried using them, like people on YouTube. There are a lot of YouTubers that use them instead of displays, of actual displays. So they extend the MacBook screen. You get like a huge ultra wide screen, but it's not the same thing. Like I tried working with them, and it's
not right.
Not for me. It's not for me.
We're not there yet. We're not there. Sorry,
we're not there yet.
I ventured off into a completely different topic, but
no, this is about tech. So this is tech. No, but like people have been trying to nail that.
About privacy too.
Sorry?
Exactly.
Anything meta related is always about privacy.
True. But how are you seeing Meta in the AI race? With I don't hear about Llama anymore at all.
They started as the good guys, surprisingly, because they pushed open source. They released everything instantly because they had no proper business model for it. But it's been very quiet. I just hear really these horrible news of layoffs. No one wants to be in the AI team. So my favorite is still Anthropic, obviously, but then also I do see Google and Apple being the winners, to be honest.
Yeah, this partnership is definitely big. Like if you look at what they were able to do with ads in terms of also financials, right? Here it's gonna be, I think, a similar one. So it's just gonna cement their position in the market, and they're gonna have more funding to even if I don't know if they even need more funding, but it's like it just frees them up to invest like crazy in all the infra that's needed. Everybody's saying.
And they've been playing this game for so long. Like they would not mess it up as Anthropic did with the government.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. They have whole teams that can lobby the shit out of this, and press the right buttons. Yeah, here you can see, with Anthropic, you can see what tenure or just time in the market and dealing with the regulators. What does it bring to the table, right? And it brings a lot. It really brings a lot. Like even the scaffold that they had with Pete, was it Haggett's or what's the Department of War Minister? How you can say, we're gonna tell you how you're gonna use it. Come on, it doesn't work like that. But they were a little bit, I guess, naive. It's easy, being the couch commentator and speaking from this position. I imagine it's hard for the team, but looking from afar, you can see that, going fully on, let's say, your ideals or your views, world views in business, it's difficult, right? Yeah.
And Marco, like you're right, because both Google and Apple have it good with the US government. More so now that Tim resigned as CEO and resigned, but he gave up the position, and now he's in close contact with the US government. So of course.
Who you mean? You mean Team Apple?
Yes, Team Apple.
When they were in China, I think it was a tweet when he's naming people that are there, and then he went, I don't know if he said Elon Musk or just Elon, but then instead of Tim Cook, he was like Team Apple. That was so bad. That was during the visit with the Xi Jinping summit in China. But I love that. Yeah. Or no, where he was that when he was thanking him for all the good that he did for Apple. I don't remember exactly, but it was one of those. It was like 1x, it was like Team Apple.
Where are we guys on time? Like we're 1 hour into the recording.
Maybe some conspiracies this time, one or two before we wrap up.
Yeah, let's do. Oh, let's quickly touch upon GitHub switching to token billing because I know especially Marco cares about that, right? So this month on June 1st, they moved from per token billing. They moved to per token billing. Sorry. And some developers saw monthly bills jump from $29 to over $750. And of course, the community is furious. So is this the beginning of the end of subsidized AI, of flat rate subscriptions? What's your
I don't know. I don't think
this?
so. I posted a couple of times recently because, I mean, obviously everyone knows you get your money worth in the Anthropic subscriptions or Codex, also like the $100 or $200. And then there is a tool, CC for usage, which takes all of your usage and compares it to API pricing. And I had in like a couple of days already $900 in API cost that I would have incurred if I would use the pure API. So it's just a, I don't know, visualization, I guess, into how much it is subsidized. But I don't think it's the end. I think it is going to change. They are going to especially charge enterprises more and more. But enterprises are also like not as cost elastic as they used to be. Like they really want to see the impact of AI. So it's not anymore just like, yeah, give everyone as much token usage as possible. But like, is it worth it for me to create a slide deck with a PowerPoint agent if every PowerPoint is like $50? So now you really need to calculate a bit more. What did the token produce? So I think it's just going to be more about cost efficiency now. More and more are building proper like model routing systems where you don't always need Opus or even like Sonnet and Haiku. You can use cheap Chinese models, I don't know, a small Quen one or something. Best case, you even have it locally anyways, and then you can kind of route to this one, this things that are irrelevant for a thinking model. So I think the matter is definitely cost effectiveness of AI usage and especially stuff like model routing.
But there's one point to be made here about the models, right? Where, as you said, right, each API call would cost you this much, right? But with model improvement, you would also call it less frequently because you would get it right sooner, right? So to an extent, I would say, yeah, that's also with model improvement, the cost per token. I mean, better models also require more compute, so that scales with the improvement. So maybe, yeah, per token, then it stays the same. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this. I think now it's kind of socialized, right? Where everybody's paying the subscription. Some are paying or using up 1,000. You know, Michna, you didn't even open Fable, so you gave all your subscription tokens to Marco, for instance, because he used it for 3 days. You know, so I think right now they're fine like that, and maybe that model works for a certain period of time. Obviously, they're going to pressure enterprises, that's for sure. But it's interesting to see, like, and obviously, I know where Jensen's coming from, but Jensen said that your engineer should use, what he said, twice the amount of tokens of his salary or something like that, or at least, yeah. So if he's getting paid 100K, he should at least use 100K of tokens as well, right? That's kind of justifying, or kind of measuring.
So random.
Yeah, it's random. It's obviously it's random, and he's on the compute side, right? So obviously he's gonna say that. But it got me thinking, right? How much, output would you expect from a very good engineer, and can you measure it with token consumption, right? Or not? But yeah, this was maybe he pulled it up out of his ass for that talk. That was interesting to me, right? In terms of pricing, I think.
I mean, those internal token KPIs, they always end badly. Because I can spend tokens. I can spend 1 million in tokens if I want to. I can just have endless deep research loops and agentic discussions with each other and just like the most expensive stuff. So I don't think it's a good KPI. But the thing is, I agree. Like once you have like a comparison of like pre-AI and post-AI and you compare the developer output, then you can put a number on like output per token or tokens per output. So that's going to be super interesting to see. But I don't know, sometimes I'm super annoyed when I see stuff like what was it, this kind of Asana competitor. We also used it for briefly for ClickUp. Could it be ClickUp? Yeah, they were like, oh, we now have like 100x engineers, people are going to earn millions because we want those people. I'm like, yeah, but the software is still shit. Like I really want to see the actual I want to see the output but translated into products, and that's something I still haven't seen anywhere. Like I don't feel like products have gotten better. Like yeah, sure, everyone is producing way more, there's way more PRs, etc. But where's the output in the real world?
Yeah, you're right on that side. I'm not like, even if I look at, I don't know, let's say shopping, online shopping, right?
Yeah,
I'm not getting better recommendations or them upselling me like crazy on just what I wanted or anything like that, or making the experience more, even more hassle-free.
And Spotify, they had this kind of the chief architect or something, I don't remember his title. He had a really cool presentation about how they use Cloud internally at the Cloud Code conference. But still, I'm like, yeah, sure, you're super productive, tons of PRs, everything is automated, testing, etc. But is Spotify now better? I don't know. Like, where is this kind of output in the real world?
Yeah, true. You're right. I don't know if it's gonna be first, because enterprises, I think, were more like stale, or not stale. Maybe that's not a good word, but I would say more rigid. So they had so many processes going through so many hoops to get something done, and maybe first you tackle this, right? And that's why the development side of things is getting tackled first, because the user-facing stuff was always, okay, how do I remove all the blockers, from the user, so it has so the user has a smooth experience. So implementing AI here might be more difficult, as you are already focusing on kind of having it really streamlined. But I would say until we don't change the form factor, like going from a phone or a laptop to something else, it's going to be difficult to change the input interface, right? And that's why I don't see. I don't know. You're used to, okay, need to download the app, or I need to, have this web app like this. So adding AI, can be actually clunkier at this point, I guess. I don't know. I'm guessing. I think the back office is first to get all the ad treatment, because there was so much, bloat there, and then the front office gets the features. That's my view.
Okay, I'll wait a bit more.
Well, so Marco, we do have that product where we're trying to change the input output. We're not saying what yet, but yeah, we're working on that heavily, and let's see if we can change how you interact with games. Let's see. We're going towards that. Imagine having meta display, have it here, and just talking. That'd be crazy.
I mean, I definitely don't mind the sci-fi future. I just checked Meta Display. I actually didn't know about it. I would love to have the Meta glasses, but it's again like this big dislike against Meta, so I just wouldn't trust it. But I guess with your use case, it makes sense if it's just local and nothing goes to Facebook. That's fine. But I don't think display is gonna work that way.
No, display probably won't work, right? So right now, where I'm using it for just recording and conversations and listening, works. Meta display probably not. Yeah. So let's see what I do.
But honestly, I don't know if they had any success with the Meta display, because my YouTube is mostly tech, reviews and all the latest updates, and 6 months, 1 year later reviews type of. And I haven't seen anybody do a 6 month review for Meta Display, for example. So I don't think they had any.
I didn't even know
success
it's
with
out.
that. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
out
I think
in
it
the
got
US at this point.
I
I
think
don't
it got
think it's
announced
available in Europe.
yeah, end of last year. I think it got announced or something like that. Right? I mean,
Hmm. Yeah,
I
and
mean
it
the
was
price.
already on sale in New York, I think, and a couple of
Yeah.
other states. So
I mean, the price point on this is also a little bit higher, right, compared to the original ones. But yeah, let's see. We don't have them yet here. I'm not planning a trip to the US anytime soon. So
yeah,
let's see.
Not going for the World Cup.
No, oh come on. If we can touch on that World Cup to me this year, my God, it's so bad. Like you have it's too many teams. If you ask me,
I'm enjoying it. I think it's
Really?
so fun. Yeah, of course.
What, Cape Verde, or what was the playing 1-1 with Portugal?
For example, no, against Spain. It's like, what the fuck? I didn't
Spain,
even know they have a team, and it's so fun to see those teams too, to have the fans. I don't know, I'm really enjoying it.
yeah, I'm on Team Marco here, Mate.
Really?
I like that.
No.
It's more diverse. Like you don't know, like there's a lot of surprises, right?
Oh, no.
Already in the.
And the quality is gonna come later.
Yeah, no, but Democratic Republic of Congo played 1-1 with Portugal. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
How can that be? And you can't even bet anymore on anything because it's so the results are so random.
Yeah,
exactly. That's the fun part of it. All my friends who are big bettors are furious at this point.
Yeah, people are going to be very poor at the end of the World Cup, because
exactly.
Who's your favorite to win it?
I'm Team Germany. I've always been Team Germany. So.
Really?
Yeah. I've been a Germany fan since I was a kid. So even when Romania was big, I was still rooting for Germany. I don't know. I always liked the German type of football. Like even if they lead by 10-0, they still push in attackers, and we won 20-0.
I felt really bad. Caracao.
No, but there's a saying, after 5-0 you kind of step off the gas, right? Germany, no, they go.
No, never.
And then I saw comments. I don't know who it was. It was an ex joking. I think it was like, why is Germany playing a drink? Everybody just knows blue curacao. So curacao being a country is a surprise for some people this year. I was actually an England fan when I was younger. That was the period when I was actually Manchester United fans. We had Scholes there, and Beckham, and Owen, and Van Nistelrooy, and all those. And then obviously, rooting for England, but they never made. I mean, is it coming home this year? Like it was coming.
I think it's a really good chance. Yeah.
Let's see.
They have a big chance.
I am still having France as my favorite this year, but let's see. Even though I was looking for France.
Okay. France. Yeah, France is also a big contender for the title.
It's always a contender, right? But I'm surprised we're looking more at the European countries. Nobody's saying Argentina, Brazil.
I mean, they don't have a lot of good players anymore. I think Brazil has lost it for quite some time now. So.
Yeah, I was surprised when I saw what was the first match. Brazil, Morocco won, and Morocco, then.
Morocco is the big surprise.
Yeah, no, but they do have Hakimi and the others. So I forgot that these are Moroccan players. That's the problem when you see them playing in the leagues, right? Shit, that's Morocco. Sorry, okay. We went.
Shall we do one conspiracy theory?
Conspiracy, and then I have to run.
I'll do the privacy was cracked years ago, and I actually want to give a shout out to to the Oasis community, because I actually ran a forum in our community and gathered conspiracy theories from users. They were anonymous, so I don't know who submitted them, but thank you.
You know who you
So,
are.
sorry?
You know who you are. Yeah.
You know who you are. There's one that says privacy was cracked years ago. So the question is what if on-chain privacy was quietly broken years ago by someone with enough compute, and we're all just pretending it still works? Because chain analysis firms are getting suspiciously good at de-anonymizing wallets. So what if projects like Monero, Zcash, Tornado Cash aren't actually private anymore, and nobody's telling us?
I have an immediate rebuttal here. Saying on-chain privacy is hacked, it's very hard to believe because you have so many different privacy technologies, right? One, and two, maybe you can say that for a hardware-based privacy where we're working in, but I don't even believe that. But for the kind of more math-based privacy or cryptography, right? I mean, you can prove that it's that hasn't been hacked. I don't think somebody's hiding like a quantum computer that's able to bust up everything somewhere in the basement and not shouting about it. But to the point of chainalysis, and other kind of these compliance solutions, right? That why they are able to be more, they're able to track more. I think it's more that the users, are a bit more stupider. Plus, the technology is actually getting better in kind of observing these side channels, right? Because you don't get absolute privacy with it, right? It's more how you behave using these mixer crypto or protocols that determines how well your privacy. It's like if you're gonna be depositing a strange amount into Monero and then withdrawing somewhere else, obviously everything's seen on chain, and then somebody will timestamp it, look at your other wallets, how they were connected, and then this is how they get to you, right? And with AI, I would say that it's getting even easier, right? Tracking all of these side channels and all of these side wallets. So I wouldn't say it's cracked, but I would say AI enhanced their ability to be able to kind of assume certain connections and then say, okay, this is connected to this with this amount of confidence, right? Because chainalysis has always worked with confidence levels. It's not like this is 100% dirty or this is 100% completely clean, but this is like, okay, there's a 90% likelihood that this is coming from here, 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 and here, right? And do what you want with it. Yeah. Mark, I mean, I took over this one because it kind of.
No, I agree. Yeah, there's not much to add. I think in general, always those are human errors. And the problem is more that Web 2 is broken. So there's no privacy. And then you can draw some connections with other data points that you have.
True. Yeah. Well, we solved this one really quickly. We can do actually.
Yeah. Okay, let's do one more and then we can end, because I know nothing about this theory, but apparently it exists. I haven't done my homework, I'll admit, on this. So apparently there's some documentation that the CIA was expressing interest in blockchain development. So say Nakamoto was an alias for an operative group or group. So their block rewards total over 1 million, right? Allowing the user who submitted to speculate that the US as a political entity would be more than happy to have the dollar term out as the global reserve currency and default on their loans as a stockpile of global Bitcoin supply is under Nakamoto's roof.
I'll let somebody else start with this one.
I know nothing about this series, so
yeah. I mean, I think the motivation is pretty bad in the conspiracy. As
Yeah.
like the US, they don't care about deflation or paying back loans. They have all the military. Like I don't think it's a good enough reason for them to come up with something like this. But where I do get it is that obviously the defense departments are always the cutting edge in cryptography. So it could be that they were experimenting, and they definitely did experiment with peer-to-peer payments based on cryptography. But everything around, like the Bitcoin creation, the white paper release, the timing with the financial crisis, it doesn't scream US government to me. So I am still on the board that it was a group of cryptographers, cypherpunk people that were building this separate system, and they were just forced to release it a bit quicker because of the financial crisis. So yeah.
I would totally agree here with Marco. Like, this doesn't fit the footprint of intelligence agency, you know, because it was very ideological, you know, the release, and the people involved at the beginning with this, right, I would say, are not the people that would, you know, work with the establishment to create something like it, right? And as Marco said, you know, dollar is backed by the U.S. military. If you ever looked at the chart, how big the U.S. military is, I recommend you look at that. It's probably, you know, at the level of everybody else combined, almost, you know. So yeah, they don't care about. They're always gonna have money, you know, either by Syria. We saw Venezuela, right? If they're low on oil, they're gonna, you know, jump in and you know, get a country with oil, you know. And Iran maybe was a similar play here, and there was more more resistance, you know, coming from here. And then they were also a little bit crazier, I think, in their counter, right, with desalination plants potentially being hit and all of that, you know. So I think they weren't expecting that kind of reaction from Iran, but this is going political, right? But as Marco said, the dollar is staying where it is as the reserve currency. You know, even BRICS are trying something, but it's not taking off for real, because, you know, the US is funding so many projects, programs across the whole world, right? That as soon as you start to create an alliance, you know, that kind of threatens that, I mean, you know, the pipe can close and you're screwed. So the dollar is there. Bitcoin probably doesn't become the reserve asset fairly soon, right? There should, I mean, if there's a shift, there's going to be through a much longer period, because they're not going to allow to lose that control. So yeah, I'd say this one. They probably were looking at it and were interested, as Marco said, and I know there were interviews from people that were involved early in Bitcoin that they were called into the DOD, I think, and NSA, potentially CIA as well, to talk about Bitcoin, explain the tech, all of that. So they were at the front. Oh, I think this was actually, was it Epstein that was talking about that as well? Because Epstein was pretty early to, I think Epstein was pretty early to Bitcoin as well, and talking to the devs. I think it was in the leaked emails that they were because back then he was still famous for, you know, investment, all that. So I think he was intro to the dev, but yeah, so the let's say the deep state was aware of it fairly soon, but I don't think they were ever counting on getting it that big as it is now. Because if we look at, we've been in this space for almost 10 years now, and if you look at, you know, the attitude and relationship from the governments back then, you know, I think that's saying first they ignore you, then they fight you, then they win. It's so true, right? Because 2017, people were getting scammed left and right. That was like, your fault, you know, you touched crypto, it's your fault, you know. And then it was like, oh shit, you know, we need to regulate this, you know, and everybody was trying to tax all the gains to gain money from it. even though it was still kind of half, with all the meme coin craze and all that, people losing money, they would know. At least they're trying to protect it some way and then stifle it through, this is all a scam. We need to protect the people. And now, how they look at the acceptance, right? Bitcoin ETF, one of the best ones to ever launch. TradFi allocating to Bitcoin. Enterprises using blockchain. Stable coins getting regulated to an extent and being used in transactions. So I think when we're in the period and then you win, financially, maybe if you look at, micro level, right now it looks doom and gloom, but macro level, I think it's set up to really be a technology that, really goes forward and takes off.
Yeah, the theories I like are about Satoshi Nakamoto's identity. I mean, I did like 2 years ago the research for my presentation at ETH. That was fun because those are actually really interesting and many of those really make sense. Some are really stupid just because he has the same last name. And some are really funny because they want to be Satoshi, they sell themselves, but it's obviously not true.
Which one for you is most credible?
I forgot, but the cryptographer that died long ago.
Hal Finney?
Finney, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, Hal Finney, yeah. Hal Finney for me as well.
Finney.
Sorry?
Hal Finney.
Yeah, Hal Finney, yeah.
I thought you said Paul. Yeah.
No, Hal Finney, yeah. Oh, yeah. I said Hal. Yeah, you're right. Hal is the pronunciation. Hal Finney. And for me, somebody did a big thread on Jack Dorsey.
I know.
The thread was so convincing when it comes to, and kind of hiding in plain sight, I'm Nakamoto, or he had those t-shirts and all that. So that one was interesting as well. But I think makes kind of more sense to be someone that's passed away, at least to me. But yeah, never know.
Because no amount was touched from the wallet.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to ever get touched. Yeah, but Hal Finney for me was also kind of the best guess. That some people were saying Adam Back as well, but then Adam said it a million times that he's not, but he was probably close to the development because I think was it DigiCash that he created before? He was a part of or was it eGold or something? So he was part of some cryptocurrency before they were called cryptocurrencies like this digital cash initiative. But I think for Bitcoin to really work was kind of the perfect storm of internet everywhere, mobile devices everywhere, good enough compute, and then this proof of work idea. I think it was just a perfect storm to be able to create it. Like you couldn't do that in the 1999,
No.
You have to have more technological development to be able to do something like this. Yeah.
I mean, likely it was as I said, a group of people, and most of them were involved that we just mentioned. Or, as I did in the presentation, it was AI from the future.
It was AI from the future.
Let's end on that note.
I mean, that's what CZ suggested.
I mean, I definitely don't think it was a group of people because some Bitcoin would have left that wallet. I mean, what, the key was just lost? Nobody had a duplicate?
Well, it depends on, I don't know if there's a multi-sig for that or not, probably not, but
I don't think there.
There could be one lead, and then you had multiple people, because they were talking on Bitcoin Talk, so I think there wasn't just one. I would agree with Marco. It wasn't probably just one person, but maybe just one person had control over that million, right?
Yeah.
But also, I mean, those were very.
That's what I wanted to say. Like only one person had
likely,
control over the world.
They've been in crypto for a long time. Obviously, since the beginning, they have Bitcoin if they need it. So I don't think money is the incentive here.
Sure. I mean, remember if you look at how much Bitcoin they gave out at the beginning to people, use it. You came to the table, it was like 100,000. I mean, it was not 100,000, but it was like silly numbers, compared to the value now, right? So yeah, as you said, probably locking up that million wasn't like anything special at the time, based on the market cap. All right, I'm gonna have to run.
Yeah, let's end. But I really enjoyed the episode. What is it? 90 minutes. Nice. As always, thank you guys for joining. It's been a pleasure. Well, if Marco is willing and has time, maybe he'll join us. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So let's try to record another one in 2-3 weeks.
Sure. Thanks for organizing.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.